Alright guys, here's a video on the HDR 68. It's actually about those fittings I was showing you guys. Um, the ones that you tap and into the valve for a short connection. Um, yeah, so you can do the 90-degree elbows, but straight in. But what happens is you're going to have to remove a little bit of metal to actually spin it all the way in. Or just put a small connection on, then you can put a new one on after. But this is just a demonstration. I have my HDR. I just wanted to show you, break it down and show you how this worked, how this all fits in and how I made it. I showed you how I made it in a different video, but here's how it looks when you fit it in. I would have showed you on the HDR, but it's a lot just to strip down, and I have to take the thing completely apart, and it's a lot of work, and then getting it back in. But I'm going to show you now how it works on the HDR instead, but it doesn't matter what you use, HDR, HDB, HDX, HDS, HDP, yeah, whatever. They all have the same valve tip in here. But this revolver seems to be pretty angled, so like this here is a big giant, so you wouldn't be using one of these, but like there's that threaded part that I made from the MPT fitting. So see what happens when you go into there? You're running into this part down here. So you're going to have to put one of these on. And then, yeah, then you can get into there. You can use a short one. You don't have to use the long one. You can even file them down a little bit if you want to make it even shorter. And then you might have to remove some of this meat right here. But that's okay, just as long as you don't go into the neck of this. You got some meat. This is the part of the casing, so you can go into some of the casing. Just don't go into the neck of the valve. You don't want to compromise that at all. But you do have some room, so you can go through this metal piece and then just a little bit of the casing. Actually, you probably go through all the casing just to the point where if you need to. But if you use a lot of Teflon tape, you don't have to screw all the way in. And like when it's locked in a carbine setting, you don't have to worry about it turning because it's all locked, and the only one that turns is your last one at the top. It sits outside. That's the only one that's going to twist. No matter how hard you try to move it, it ain't going to affect or rotate and jig on these. But yeah, I got just like a 750 psi. This is just a small tank, but I want to show you how it works. I'm going to just gas it up and then I'm going to undo it. But this is that steel one I showed off in the last video. I have pics. I'm going to post them all in the group and stuff too and make some videos. But in here, I just got that. Here's the fittings. So basically, I just took one of these guys. It's just a 1/8 NPT fitting, female male end threading. So I basically put it on my drill and I spun it with a file and I rounded all that out, and then I got it down. Then I was able to tap a thread on the outside, an M13 1 thread, and that's what's in there now. And then I didn't thread the whole entire chunk. I saved some meat for the screw head. That way I can make a face for the O-ring. And then, yeah, so I seated an O-ring down in. And then that way you can make a good seal. But also, I put the thread tape around it. I like to do it just for security anyway. It's just an O-ring. It's just double the chance that it's not going to leak. But anyways, yeah, so basically here's the first one I made out of brass. This one works great too. You just have to use lots of thread tape. I went around about 15 full laps, went in, and I find it works no problem. But if you're like me, I like to double the thread. I like to put it in so it just jams and cranks, and that way you don't have to worry about your marker twisting and your tank twittering and stuff. You could also use some pretty good Loctites, I'm pretty sure. But I have better luck with thread tight. Less mess, less gunk, less cleaning when you open them up. But yeah, anyways, the first one here, I filed it all the way through the hex head. I got rid of all the hex, so there's nothing really to grab onto with any wrench or anything. But Yeah, this one goes in and there's no chamber for an O-ring, like little channel. No ditch there for an O-ring, so you just have to screw this one in and just till you get it where you want it, then stop. These here are extra long threads, so my valves are all tapped for longer threads. So like I tap my valves like really deep halfway up them, so I can put a thread like that long all the way in it. In all of them, pretty much every gun I have that's Umarex. So yeah, let's just check this out here quickly. I'll just give it a little gas up. So there's the click. You all heard that. It's late here, so I'm not going to bang it off. It's no point. So yeah, I'm just going to make sure my tank's off. Oh, hold on, which way am I going here? Yeah, okay, I was going the other way. So yeah, just turn it off, and then I got a degasser piercing cap in the bottom, so we'll just... There you go, ungassed. And then you just gas up with this again. So, yeah, so anyways, I'm just going to unscrew this now. We're depressurized. Comes off no problems. Yeah, I just jerry-rigged this up just to show you how it works, and that it works pretty good. Like this one on the threads, I even done a rough job. I must have got a thread caught in when I was twisting it, and it kind of made a couple little chinks in it, but it's not bad. Like it's pretty good. But yeah, so there you'll see the O-ring. There's my O-ring, and then you'll see my thread tape. See? Oh. And then that's the back of the HDR valve. Oops, there's a piece of... where's my little pick? There's a piece of the thread inside. I'll get that out. There's a little chunk in there. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's still in there. But if you guys can see down there, I tap my valves really deep. I'm not sure if you can see down in there, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, so that's all it is right there. It's just a... It really didn't even damage it. It just took a little piece and compressed it in there, and I figured it would be like crushed. But yeah, next time I'm even going to use more, just because I can. Yeah, so I got the other ones that I have in my HDR. It's made of brass. This one's stainless steel, so this one's hard. It's harder to tap. I showed the video on how to do it, but all you need is one of these. It's an M13 die tap tool. You got to file this down. It was a whole hex bolt, just like this. You got to grind all the hex down. I just put tape on the threads, Gorilla tape on the threads, and then I put it in the chuck of my drill, locked it in, spun it, held the file up to it, and carved all that piece out, let it spin, 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 so it got down deep. Then I took a really thin file, the tip of it, and I spun it and just held the tip in there just to make a little ditch so that can seat in there. It's not too far down. It's just about as deep down as the threads go. But yeah, it allows for you to get a nice O-ring in there. See? But yeah, if you can take the O-ring right out. You don't even have to have that. Just put lots of thread tight or Loctite on it. Like this guy right here. I suggest you leave the knuckle for the face of the O-ring. And just in case you ever use a tool to get it out. Emergency anyhow. But yeah guys, so this is your universal HPA adapter. This is just jerry rigged now. I'm gonna take it apart right now. And then this is like a 120 degree HPA NPT fitting. This is a male to female extension NPT. This is a male to male this is the same thing. It's one of these but modified into this. Yeah, so that's what we have in the HDR, which I showed off there the other day. So if you can see up in there, we got our fittings going in, and it's going down into the marker, into the back of the HDR. You can kind of see it in there too. 90-degree elbow, that's a square elbow. All I had to do is just go in and drill straight up. Just carve a channel for your screw fittings. Basically a round circle, nice carving with a Dremel sander bit. Did a perfect hole. And yep. Also, we also got the 14 round magazine. But you guys can see this in my last 4 videos I made before this one. Yeah, guys. These are 1/8 MPT fittings. M13 by 1 tap and die to put the threads on. The brass ones are a lot softer. They're a lot easier to do. I spun it with the drill, with the file, to get this hexagon down to a round perfect circle. And once I got it down to fit my die, then I put the thread on. Yeah, there you have it, guys. I'm sure a couple people were skeptical on how they leak or not. It all depends on how good of a job you do. I just did everything by hand, so mine's probably like a mediocre job, and works perfect. Works like a charm. Santa Claus, thank you, buddy. You are a genius. A little hidden genius. Thank you. Yeah, you're going to see some crazy new builds I got coming. I'm going to be sticking... don't worry, I'll tell you guys. I'll show you guys later. I tell you in the video, I'll have 10 people trying to beat me to the punch. Anyways, guys, you guys all stay safe. Take care. Have fun, as always.